And we're hot. Hello and welcome, everybody, to In the Guard, that one-stop shop for all things combat sports, MMA, coming off the heels of UFC 262, Oliveira versus Chandler, the battle for the third best lightweight in the UFC. I'm Mike.
I'm Tony.
And we're going to get into the card, break down fight night, what is it, 26, 27 coming up now, whatever that. The next fight night.
27.
27, Fulton Garnbrack. That's what we're talking about. Going over all of our fun stories in the media. But first, let's take it to the festivities. Last night, UFC 262, Charles Do Bronx Oliveira versus Iron Michael Chandler for the, they say undisputed, I say disputed lightweight championship, but it was a great fight.
Well, it's just a temporary thing, you know. It's buying time, lightweight champion, until Connor and Poirier sort out their shit, and we're gonna see what Gaethje's doing, and
yeah, who
go
knows
from
what
there.
Gaethje's doing, right? Well, that being said, these two guys kind of right place, right time. Charles definitely should have been in this fight. I think he earned his way up there. He had a long. I mean, love the bash.
And
Charles
this is
Oliveira.
coming from Mike, y'all.
Well,
you know,
I mean, but
Mike and Chucky Olives don't.
If you look at his trajectory, what he's been doing since he's been a lightweight, again, he kind of earned his way up there. Gaethje had just lost his fight, right? So you can't just have him back-to-back title fights after losing a fight. Whereas Dustin, I think, is the top, lightweight in the UFC, possibly the whole world. Now that Khabib has retired, he turned this fight down. So I kind of get why Oliveira was there. Chandler was the king of right place and right time. Not that Mike is a terrible fighter. I actually picked him to win it. But the fact that he's able to come in this quick and end up in that main event fighting for that lightweight title is kind of just, the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and I think people kind of shitting on him is wrong. I always think he's world-class level.
Right,
it's just Charles's night.
Right.
And it's like we only got 2 rounds of this fight, but it was the tale of 2 rounds.
I mean, he dominated round one.
Yeah, I mean, he was in, one bad spot.
Right.
But he got himself out of it, and he almost submitted
Right.
Oliveira. He almost knocked him out and finished him. I've seen fights stop for less.
Right.
Like, Pickett and Wright.
Right.
But it kept going, and then comes around and just blitzes him in that second round.
And that's one of the ways that Oliveira won me over, that kind of comeback.
Yeah.
And that's some championship type shit where you're getting mauled for at least 3.5 out of those 5 minutes in round one, ducking, just barely dodging that finish, and to come out in round two like it didn't even fucking happen.
Yeah.
He was good to go. He was fresh. And he landed the shot that put, Chandler on his, backing up. Anytime you see that fighter running towards the cage, it's not a good.
Yeah, he was
it's
not
not
able
a
to
good
get
spot.
away.
And then he, was able to ice Mike and win that title, which he definitely, definitely you could see like the culmination. Was it like 28 fights in the UFC or something? 28.
Yeah.
It was like he set a record for the longest path, and he fucking ran and hugged everybody he fucking could.
It took him 10
stadium.
years to get to a lightweight title fight.
Right.
He has the most finishes in the UFC.
He's tied for the most.
Tied for the most.
Yeah.
Most amount of bonuses, though.
Right,
most,
or something like that. He's either
Yeah.
but he's got most submissions for sure.
Yeah.
He again, he's got the title now, and it'll settle itself out. I joke about the third best lightweight, but if he isn't true the champion, he's gonna fight Dustin Connor winner. Dana won't commit to saying that, but we all know what the hell's gonna happen.
So as far as commentary goes, last night you and I were comparing him to Tony Ferguson. Is he Ferguson 2.0 with fundamentals?
I
a little bit younger, or what is
we were
it?
talking off air. I think Tony Ferguson in that fight passed his essence into Oliveira. I mean, and just like, you are the one. Did you see how close they were at that presser? They were hanging out, talking, joking with each other.
They're friendly.
They're very friendly. So again, he kind of did some, seance, kind of like Child's Play.
Yeah.
When the serial killer put himself into Chucky, Tony Ferguson, good barriers, he'd be a serial killer. And he put it into Chucky, and Chucky did his job. Even when Oliveira was going to fight Tony, we kind of typed it up as this is like young Tony versus now Tony, right? It's kind of, they're similar fighters. And Oliveira has a similar build to Tony. A little bit more, obviously, technical than Tony is, but has a lot of those.
Yeah, with a little bit more fundamentals,
And, we'll talk to it in a couple minutes here about how hard it is to finish Tony Ferguson. Oliveira kind of showed that in that fight where Mike was going at him, pounding him against that cage. He could have gave up at any moment. He could have just, went out, and he had the heart of a champion.
Yeah, fun fight though. Definitely a fun fight.
What's next for Michael Chandler?
That is the $1 million question.
They were kind of teasing Dariush, but like Dariush is saying, he doesn't want to fight the rest of the year. He's about to have his baby. Want to spend time with the family. He's gonna get a top 5 guy. Dana says.
Chandler?
So, no, Dariush.
Yeah.
Dana confirmed that. So Chandler, where does he fall? Does he fall out of the top 5?
Well,
he's number 4. Ferguson was 5.
I would like to see Chandler fight Islam Makhachev.
Hey, if he wants to get back within 12 months to that title, like he said, if he beats Makhachev, I think if he gets one more fight of that,
I don't think he beats Makhachev.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a
I don't think he beats Makhachev, but I think that's a win-win for both those guys.
But his time frame of 12 months to get back to that shot, if he can beat Makhachev, I think that really boosts him up.
I mean, look at that top 10. You got Poirier and Conor, right? The winner of that fight is going to fight for the fucking title.
Justin Gaethje get that fight? Like two guys that are on
that could be the fight that happens too. It's where it's kind of very similar style fighters with Gaethje and Chandler, which I would love to see honestly.
Gaethje hasn't fought since October. How long is it going to take? How long are they going to put Chandler on the shelf for this knockout loss? Because now you're looking at almost a year before Gaethje's
Well, it's going to be at least 3-4 months, and Gaethje is not.
He hasn't
booked
fought
for anything.
Yeah.
He's not booked for anything. I don't know where the Gaethje fight goes. Maybe.
You got Hooker, but Chandler's already beat Hooker.
They might do a Gaethje Dariush fight, and I'm just sorry for Benil in that fight.
Yeah, but Benil said he didn't want to fight the rest of the year, so what?
Yeah,
maybe they make him shit or get off the pot type of thing.
Yeah, and that's where again, I don't know what's going on with Paul Felder. Dan Hooker I don't think he deserves a fight up there. Yeah. Maybe he should have to fight up Rafael Dos Anjos.
Makachev's fighting somebody. Who is he fighting? They booked him a fight, I think it was.
Yeah, we talked about it.
It wasn't Dos Anjos, but it was
Let's look this up. Let's use the interwebs. Thiago Moses.
Yes,
he's
Thiago
Moses. Thiago Moses up.
What a step down. I mean, you have to be going off the rails here of 262, but you got to be frustrated if you're Makhachev.
Nobody wants to fucking fight him.
Well, rightfully so.
So, again, who knows how long Chandler's been a sideline? That'd be an awesome fight, or a Chandler Gaethje. Again, I don't know what's going on with Gaethje.
I think Chandler Gaethje is what makes sense.
Gaethje might be holding out, think he can get a championship opportunity, which I don't think that's coming.
Both off title losses.
Yeah,
let them scrap.
Yeah, and then whoever's gone.
Oliveira gets. I hate to say it, but winner of Conor Dustin.
That's like locked. Come on.
Yeah.
Especially if Conor wins. There's no way Dana's not going to get an opportunity to put Conor in a headliner again. Right. But yeah, I mean, hats off. I've been a fucking big time critic of Charles Oliveira, and he won me over last night for sure. He kind of
humble guy.
Any doubt that I had of him, I kind of doubted his resume. And Chandler, I know, is a world class guy. He's new to the UFC, but he's not new to MMA. He's not new to high level fights. And Oliveira weathered his storm, which Dan Hooker couldn't do. Yeah. We saw that in UFC 11. Dan Hooker's a really good fighter and a tough fighter. We've seen Dan Hooker get in some fucking brawls and not go out. He weathered that storm, came back and won, and it was a fun fight to watch. It wasn't like the fucking Tony Ferguson fight where I want to throw my fucking
You're on
fist
the edge
to
of the
TV.
seat for every second.
I loved every moment of that fight. Yeah. It was great while it lasted. So yeah, Oliveira, he earned his place right now for sure.
Well, let's move on to the next.
I'm even with you on this one.
Look, this was double bad for me, right? One, I hate seeing fucking Tony Ferguson lose. Tony Ferguson versus Benilderius, kind of Tony's last hurrah, right? Can he hang in with these top level fighters anymore? Where is he at? And again, but Tony still puts that little bit in your head because he didn't get beat. He ran out of time.
I think he's got to go down to a gatekeeper type role if he wants to keep fighting for a few more years. I don't think he can hang with most of these people in the top 10.
But he's not getting beat. The only person I would say that really beat him was Justin
He's not
Gaethje.
Getting finished. You can't finish that fucker.
But that Oliveira fight,
he was beat. He was outclassed. He was outclassed by both of these guys.
He got outscored and ran out of time. Yeah. That was not there. Those weren't fights though. Those were not fights. Listen, Tony's favorite analogy is if it was a street fight, right?
Yeah.
So if in a street fight you really want to call it a fight, you might go to jail for what you do.
But you have to pick a winner in the rule set, right?
So what Benilderius did yesterday is basically I'm going to hold this guy down to the cops.
They played it safe.
There was no fight happening. I avoided. I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm going to hold this guy down.
The only thing he did try was that heel hook.
He did try that heel hook.
He did try the heel hook. It was pretty deep.
Hey, one thing I did get right last night. We talked about how bad my night was. Tony said that Dariush was going to finish Tony Ferguson. I said nobody is going. You're going to have to kill Tony Ferguson. He's never going to tap. You have to break his arm. We'll talk about that later.
They're screaming in that heel hook.
Yeah. More like he got angrier as he got put in there deeper. started kicking him in the fucking chest with those heels. And then if Justin Gaethje did not knock him out in them 4.5 rounds, whatever it was, I don't think it's possible to knock this guy out.
4.5,
yeah. He did. So again, Tony, that's where you got Tony. That's what Tony Ferguson does to you, though. Like he got. On the grappling and on the ground, he got dominated for that fight, right? Pinned down. Although he did some nice transitions, almost to that fucking Darce. He had that Darce. It was
he was
real
good
close.
At creating scrambles, for sure.
He just could not flip him over the lock in that Darce. He still almost finished that thing from the bottom. Darius, was good at keeping his heart rate down, and staying calm and finally stepping.
But there were no moments in this fight where I was the heel hook. I was scared for Tony, but that was it. But I was also scared for Dariush and the darts.
The darts. Yeah,
other than that, it was just,
that was my call that Tony was going to darts the Benilderius to win the fight. If you go back and watch the tape, because Tony's like best submission, his arms like built for darsing people. But that's what he does do. He fought like a champion again last night. Couldn't get finished. Had some moments in there. But again, the guy just kind of rode him like a fucking wet blanket to win the fight. And somebody's got to pick a winner. There's no way you could say Tony Ferguson won that fight for sure. But again, Benilderius did not win anybody over yesterday. Dana White said it himself. He did not earn a title fight. Yesterday, Benilderius in the state of Houston, Texas. First off, thank Jesus. Right? Fucking thank Jesus. And Texans booed Jesus. He knocked Marxism, and Texans booed Marxism. How bad of a performance do you have to do to get Texans to boo Jesus and support Marxism? Yeah. That's what Benilderius said yesterday. And I love Benilderius. Every fight he's done before has been fun. It's been entertaining. He's did not want to fight last night.
Played it safe tonight.
It was but again, he wins. He'll get an eliminator fight.
You can't discount like what we've all been saying here. You can't finish Ferguson. So what do? You fucking
hold that motherfucker down.
Me being me, I want to be the one to crack that nut. I'm gonna go for it, and I'm gonna lose trying to do it. And I'm going to lose trying to do it. I'd rather lose trying to be that one, the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
Than, just kind of get a win.
I agree. I don't like, that we sitting there laying
the
there.
way I talk about this too. When we train jiu-jitsu, right? When you do sport jiu-jitsu, you can score points by sweeping people, taking positions, all this stuff. I don't even think about that when I'm competing. I'm thinking, how am I going to sub this guy before he subs me?
Yeah.
And I've given up points, and my only loss was because I got outpointed because I wasn't thinking about doing that. I wanted to go for a fight, so I wouldn't even think about winning a fight like that. It's just not something that's in my head.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
but Darius, he does get the win against a top 5 opponent, and now he wanted a title eliminator. I think he will get an eliminator, but. Who knows?
I don't think he gets the eliminator. I think he gets one more fight.
Well, he's gonna fight somebody in the top 5. If you win a top 5, that top 5 is so muddled.
Justin Gaethje again, right?
Yeah. Let's go.
But it's like, when does Darius want to fight? He's saying he wants to take the rest of the year off.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He wants to fight towards the end of the year.
Either December or next year.
All right, look, the lightweight division, this shit moves fast. He ain't got time to fucking sit on the top.
But on the flip side too, that top 5 is a little bit long on the tooth, so a lot of those guys might be moving out. So he might be messed up, and he'll be ranked number 5, and then he'll get that Islam Makhachev guy to come down and fight him. He's got to beat that motherfucker. Yeah. Good luck with that. Who's Khabib 2.0?
I said, I don't know what's going on with RDA, but maybe Ferguson could fight RDA, or Cerrone wants to come back to 155. Let him fight Cerrone for a rematch.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see this. You know what's going to happen if RDA fights, and the same thing we just saw. RDA is going to bring him to the Met ground and lay on him. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. And let's have him fight Cowboy. It'll be a bloody fucking shit show. And you know what? No, what
about Ferguson and Felder?
No. We're gonna change MMA for one night. We're gonna do a triple threat match. It's gonna be Cowboy Cerrone, Tony Ferguson, and we're gonna bring back Diego Sanchez for one night. And whoever comes out of there gets a $1,000 bonus.
Yeah, make it $100,000 contract.
They all they all have to retire at the end of it. Everyone's done, but whoever wins that fight gets a $75,000 bonus check.
I mean, I'm down.
That's it. That's the main event.
Have you seen that shit? I think it's in Poland where they have team MMA. They have a whole team fighting another team. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, hell yeah.
14 people fighting at one time.
What's that Italian rugby type deal?
Oh yeah, that sport.
Yeah. But yeah, I love you, Tony, but maybe you get one more in you, maybe, and then your farewell.
Matt Danger Snell versus Rogerio Bonteron. All right,
it was not very dangerous though.
This was a slower paced fight, and I think Snell just let Bonteron control too much of this fight.
Bonteron looked impressive.
Bonteron, but he misses weight, a division up from where he fights. He's a flyweight, but he misses bantamweight weight. 137 comes in. People are thinking that he's a little bit, suspect with his cardio, but Snell does not put on any pressure to test that.
Yeah, I felt like Bonteron was getting the best of all those.
Well, I think Snell was too technical.
Maybe looking to counter and stuff.
And not getting in there and let's muddy the waters a little bit and open this thing up, because Bonteron was.
Well, Bonteron throws fucking bombs too.
And like you said, you can see it looked too technical. He actually won the striking, and it did not seem like it.
Yeah,
it did not seem like that watching the fight play out.
It was close, but like I said, I just felt like.
And then
Bonteron
this is the key, the significance, right?
Yeah.
72 to 60. That's what you notice watching
You
that
see
fight.
those like,
Yeah,
hands
that's
go
what you
back.
saw. The little, kind of Chukagian-esque striking did not really pan out for
And I mean,
Snell.
I was all over Snell. I thought he would win this fight. Last replacement, like
If
Bonteron
they
short notice.
lost, I most likely picked them yesterday. So
Yeah. So I mean, that wasn't too much to that fight.
I mean, going forward, are they? I mean, I think they're kind of counting this towards a flyweight fight, even though they're both were fighting at 135 because they're both top 10s in flyweight. Bonteron, again, he looked really good. Was it Kaikara France?
Kaikara France.
He looked really good in that
Yeah, he
fight.
almost had him.
And I almost subbed him a couple times. So I think he might be a player in that flyweight division if he can make that weight, get down there. Yeah. Maybe give
or
him
maybe
a
not cutting all that weight.
No,
helped him
what's
in
his
this
name? Who? Perez, right? Perez
Yeah.
who lost to. Let's see Bonteron Perez.
Yeah.
And Snell, you're probably gonna get somebody, that is.
Yeah.
If you're gonna fight at bantamweight, let's give Snell fucking Sugar.
Sugar.
All right, let's
Give
move
everybody
on.
Sugar.
Yeah, I want to see Sugar fight. Oh.
Oh, we can skip this one. Caitlin, blonde fighter, Chukagian, Viviani Arugel. I think we both thought Vivi won this fight.
Yes.
But I think the only thing this fight told us was that how big of a gap there is from like Shevchenko and the rest of this division. Chukagian's number 2.
Yeah.
And I think she lost to number 7, Arugel. Like, imagine what Arugel would do in there with Valentina. Like,
Well, I would give Arugel a few more fights to work her way.
Yeah,
She
but I'm
wouldn't
just saying,
be hopping in there right away.
no one's
Whereas
beating
Chukagian, we know goddamn well how that fight fucking goes. That fight is. I want to see it happen because I want maybe Chukagian to think about stopping fighting, so I don't have to watch her anymore. So let's get Valentina and Chukagian in there. Very questionable decision on my part.
I thought Vivi won round 2.
There was
Round
a
2.
shaky one in the earlier card, but the right guy won the fight. We'll talk about that when we get there with the Grundy and
Saw
Panada.
that one card.
Yeah.
Like,
But
30,
Chukagian,
27,
I don't know how she won round 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
Arugel had the control time. She had her down, hunted the submission, and somehow
Almost
I think
subbed her.
I think all judges gave her round 2. So Texas is notorious. We were going over watching the fights. Texas is notorious for having bad judges in MMA. We talk about that the Yule and J Mart fight. The same night there's another women's fight, and it was the Jones and Reyes fight where everyone thinks Reyes beat Jones. So that Texas is notoriously bad for judges, and in the time off, Texas you have not gotten better. Yeah. I think there needs to be a revisit of what MMA judging is, what it has to be, what the criteria is. The way that you see these people fight, and then like 3 people see like 3 different fights. It's ridiculous to see it that way. And my biggest solution for this is have the judge have to interview after every fucking fight. Why did you choose this? Especially like a questionable decision. What did you see? What did you see in this fight? What made you go 30-27 this way? What were you looking at? At least we'll get that so we have some kind of peace of
Yeah, I
mind.
think the biggest thing is like, the takedowns. When you're mixing in takedowns, if you're getting a takedown, you have to have a decent amount of control time to solidify that takedown.
Yeah.
I think there's not enough credit given to somebody from doing damage from the bottom and also being able to get up.
Right.
Because it's just as fucking hard to get up
Right.
as it is to take somebody down, right? So it's like,
right.
if they're getting back up from
If
these
they-
takedowns
yeah.
like this, they need to look at that.
Well, also, if they
know?
do get up eventually, too, like, that's almost like a failure, right? And especially if you don't get them back down to the floor. Like, if they're down there for 30, 40 seconds and they get back up, like, oh, they kind of won that exchange because you got them down and
Well,
they
it's
got
like
back up.
when
Like
we
you said,
were-
getting up's hard.
When we were watching, who was it? It was Ferguson and Dariush.
Yeah.
They were both on the ground trying to beat each other's ass,
Right.
right? That's decent. We can leave them there. Like, Dariush is trying to hit him from the top, and then Ferguson's trying to hit him from the bottom. But
And if that's the case, too, we need to have some kind of like uniform stand them up policy because we saw it happen 2 different ways in 3 different fights where there could have been standing up motion. They stand up in one fight, it ends up changing the outcome of that fight, which we'll get to in the prelims. But you could have very easily stood up that Darius Tony Ferguson fights a few times.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Tucker Lutz fight. There could have been a few stand ups in that one.
Yeah.
And then it did happen in Mazzani fight. Like what's the uniform here? If you're gonna give people the value of being on top in some fights, don't stand them up. But if
just think
another
we have
fight, they
that-
mean nothing. Like what's going on? There's
We
no
have-
consistency.
We have a thirst for blood and violence, and rightfully so, right? But it's like when the MMA rule said, it's like, is this something just we're gonna have to continue to tolerate? Like, you're gonna have to tolerate like boring moments like this. Like,
Well, I just wish it was
I don't think-
consistent.
yeah.
If
well,
it,
I mean, it's just you don't have the same ref every
Right.
fight, right?
but
That's
I don't think they have a. But that's if there was a criteria like, oh, if they're staying down for 35, 40 seconds, stand them up.
Well, I mean,
if that
Rogan's point was always like never stand
if that,
up,
but if that was the case too, but as long as there was some kind of uniform thing, like we know what to expect at all times, and it won't just change outcomes of fight depending on the ref. That should never be the case.
A lot of old school guys would be like, "Don't stand."
Could you imagine like the Super Bowls decided because who the referee is?
Right.
It should not be that way. It should always be the same. The ref should be just blending into the background and just stopping when it's over. That's basically what the ref should be doing, or any fouls or stuff like that. Right. But again, they should not. It should not be. They should not be a main player in that fight.
Right. I think my initial thought would be to not stand them up no matter what. Right. That way you guarantee a level playing field. And I think Dana is big about, like, if you're boring on the ground and if it ends up going 3 rounds and you're just laying there, like,
you're gonna have a slow track to the top.
Right. Dana's
you
not
got to
fight
a lot more people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And,
that's how
and that probably is the simplest way to solve it.
Because I mean, you have to stick. I mean, wrestling is part of.
Right.
It's a martial art.
Right.
It's fucking boring at times.
But you can also point the finger at the person who's on the bottom, like it's your fucking job to get up or prevent these takedowns from happening.
Or if you have them on the ground for a certain amount of time, it counts as a finish. If you're in top position for a minute,
well, I mean the round
that's like
ends.
a pin.
And then
I'm saying that's like a pin in wrestling. Because we have the subs for jiu-jitsu, we have the knockouts for the striking sports, right? We don't really have anything for wrestling. And
judo
wrestling
has pins too, yeah.
In wrestling, judo, you have pins. There's a certain amount of time. If you hold a person down in wrestling or judo, there's a pin. There's a win.
Right.
So maybe that's another way to look at it. Oh, I can finish the fight this way with a pin.
Right.
That's kind of what the crucifix is.
Yeah,
right?
so that's another way to look at it. To kind of, so it's not a long, drawn out, boring ass fucking time.
Yeah.
How many WWE fucking 1, 2?
I
lifted up my shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, you ever been to like a legit amateur wrestling? They have the ref. He does little 1, 2. I mean, even in jiu-jitsu in our competition, they'll count for so if you want to hold a position in jiu-jitsu and get points for it, the ref has to do a count for how long you're holding it for it to register as, I got my knee on belly, I got my mount.
You have to hold it. Is it 3 seconds?
3 seconds. So there's always a count going on in those referees' heads. So it's not like something that's foreign to combat sports.
Yeah.
And that might be a way to speed it up, make a person be more urgent so they don't want to take that down position. That's something that happens a lot too. We've talked about it and you've told me, because I bring it up, I stand them up. They got to fight to get out, but a lot of people are willing to accept that bottom position. Maurice fucking Green did it for however long in that fight, 15 minutes in DeLima.
But I think you like there's a way to do it. Like if they want to fight like that, that's fine. But it's like Jody's saying, kind of like passively aggressive, punish them for it.
Right.
You're not going to leapfrog the rankings doing that shit because you're not making fans. You're not going to sell gate.
Or aggressively punish them. Like you can lose the fight by staying in that position because you're basically not getting your way out.
Okay, that I can go with if the person from the bottom's like striking and hitting elbows while you're just sitting there catching your breath and shit. Like if they're doing more work,
if you're
focusing on hitting them down.
Yeah. If you're pinning and getting punched while you're pinning, you're losing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're waking up tomorrow with lumps on your head.
Or if you're in a bottom of the mount for 5 seconds, you lose.
Yeah.
You better start rolling over, go to back take, move through, change the position.
Squirming like a motherfucker.
Right. You'll see some action, or maybe 10, whatever time it be. But if you force that action, it'll happen.
Right. Well, let's move on to the next fight, which was pretty.
Oh, this is a good
This fight of the night for me.
Great fight.
We called it right. We're just happy that we were not let down because we had high expectations for this fight, and this shows you how good it was.
Yeah.
Two boys, Hurricane Shane Burgos, Edson Barbosa, standing in the middle of a fucking cage and lighting each other up.
Barbosa looking good at featherweight, right?
Well,
back-to-back wins, first time since I think 2017.
Barbosa is a world-class championship type fighter.
Yeah.
We were wondering maybe he was done at one point. He went on a bad stretch, but he's back.
We knew this was going to be a good fight, and we were saying on the podcast it's going to come down to Shane Burgos' striking defense.
Well, his chin is still
Held
pretty
up.
fucking amazing. His body just quit.
It had nothing to do with his will. It was his body's like, dude, no more.
His
man.
soul,
no
his body, his brain said, "No, motherfucker, I'm gonna protect you. Sit down."
But what are those interesting moments? Like he takes the lickings, 2 of them, right?
And he just looks normal.
And then he's like, "I'm gonna
"Let's
come
go."
forward." Then he starts to backpedal and he loses his shit.
His brain just turns off.
Yeah.
He got hit so
It's
hard.
like so foreign
He
to
got
move
hit so
backwards.
hard, his brain didn't know it until 5 seconds later.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It was like the classic Ric Flair bump where he like bounces around and all of a sudden he falls flat.
Because we were like, oh, he just took those. Oh, here he comes, and he starts falling backwards.
And we
like,
have seen Burgos take some fucking shots.
Yeah.
That Josh Emmett fight again, we mentioned that a lot. Go back and see how hard Josh Emmett was hitting Shane Burgos, and he did not go down.
Yeah.
And we thought it was just another one there with Barbosa.
It's one of those things. Maybe it carried over. It's compound interest, maybe, and it finally just kind of
It
cashed
might
in.
end up working out good for Burgos because I think he was on the path to lose that fight. I think he was.
It was 1-1, but I think Barboza was winning
round
up until
3,
that point, yeah.
and he might have saved himself a little bit more of a beating because of his toughness.
Yeah.
So it might have ended up working out. The long run, that might be the best thing that happens to Shane Burgos is his body's like, you know what? Let's take a break. We'll come back 6 months from now. And try
How
this
much
again.
longer can these dudes make featherweight though?
They're
These
big
dudes
boys.
are jacked.
They're
man.
big boys.
They're as wide as welterweights. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, 155 is a pretty tough place to hang out, though. Those are bigger boys.
Yeah.
So, well, where do we think Barboza goes from
Barboza's starting to put himself into some.
But what about Barboza and Giga?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barboza and
That'll be-
Giga Chikaze.
That'll be fun. Give him a few more matches where he can stand up. You
Right.
know, let him kind of work his way back in before he sees those wrestlers or whatever, you know?
And as far as Burgos goes, I like to see him fight a guy like Hakeem Dawodu. Hakeem's fighting somebody right now, or the next couple weeks or something like that. He just got booked for a fight. But again, somebody else in that low top 15, maybe a Mozart.
Who's Evil at fighting? Is he not fighting?
He's like a no ranked guy. It's like I forget who. It's not nothing that impressive. What's going on with Thug Nasty?
I don't know, man. He's been hanging out for a while.
I gotta see the Camel Venoms, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep rolling. That's the main card.
That was
That
was
was
the
a
pay
fun
per view
fight.
card. It was a good card. I honestly like that pay per view more than 261. Everybody got hyped for 261. I think the fights were better from top to the top fight.
Well, they lasted longer.
They were actually fights. There was 2 fights that weren't even fights on the main card in 261.
Yeah.
With the Crute,
The legs.
the Crute and Weidman, and the undercard was fun too. We're starting to get into that right now. The prelims.
Yeah, so.
Starting with, we talk about broken bone. You have broken bones too. You had a broken bone in
Yeah.
261. You had an awesome one in this one too.
Yep.
But which again, a legend probably going down for the last time with Jacare Ronaldo Souza versus. I'm just gonna say Andre Muniz. I don't even know what that word is. His
Sergey
nickname.
Pano? Sergey Pano?
We knew it was gonna be a grappling match, right? And that's one of the reasons why I sided with Souza in this fight. I figured he had the edge on the feet, he had the experience edge, and no one's gonna tap Souza. I guess I was kind of right. He didn't tap out. But within the end of the first round, Muniz gets him against the cage, kind of gets down to that guard position and puts him in the fucking wicked armbar, and
Snaps.
Souza didn't quit, but his body did on him a little
You
bit.
should just let him keep going, right, Mike? He didn't quit.
I said that last night, right?
He did. He said it.
I said it last night, didn't I?
He said it.
And Souza was like, I'm fine. Even Souza got kind of like, what was crazy, how fucking calm he was. He wasn't screaming. He wasn't, didn't look like
You're
he
in
even
shock
hurt him.
at that moment, yeah.
But guess what? I bet you Weidman was in shock, but he was fucking screaming.
When that adrenaline wears off, he's
He looked so relaxed for a guy who just had his arm fucking snapped.
Yeah.
And you heard it. The replay, they kept playing it over and over and over.
Yeah. But I feel like they made this match. This was like supposed to be a tailor-made match for Jacare to win.
I
He's
thought, and that's
the
why
more
I jumped.
decorated MMA
If you watch
fighter.
our preview of the card, I was on the Muniz side, and I kind of flipped midweek because I was like, you know what? There's no way this guy's gonna beat Jacare in the grappling match. Like, if it's a guy who had some knockout power, I might have leaned with Muniz a little bit.
And you
more.
went against one of your own rules, right?
Right, the old man.
Nobody over 40 gets a pick from Mike.
That being said, until that sequence, I think Jacare was winning. Until that sequence went down.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know.
I just did not trust his chin. I'm like, you got knocked out from the
It wasn't about
fucking
his
close
chin.
guard.
I didn't think Muniz had the striking to get to his chin.
You let your
And
hands
he
go,
didn't.
and he had a big reach advantage. Hey,
But he doesn't. His striking
Yeah.
is pretty bad.
Yeah.
His striking is pretty bad.
you never know though.
But his grappling is world class, and we
Yeah.
saw that, evident.
Yeah,
what
he
happened.
cashed me a prop bet that
Right,
first time
it
I
was,
saw him fight. You know,
Yeah, it was.
should have went for it again.
And he's kind of, he's a guy. Was that middleweight? Right, middleweight division. He's a guy. Time to start putting him against maybe a top 15 guy.
Yeah, give him a 15.
Jacare, go off into the sunset, man.
That division's not too deep anyway.
Let that arm heal up. Enjoy your time. Open an academy if you don't have one already.
Yeah, I think he's hanging out down in Florida.
I'm
now,
sure
right?
he has a. I know for a fact he has a wealth of knowledge that he can pass on to the up and coming fighters. I'm sure he can he can get that next generation going.
Youth goes a long way.
Let's go next fight.
Another fun fight.
Well, we knew it was going to be fun with Groovy Lando Venetta's fighting.
The
4
split
different
decision.
haircuts.
This is where we're talking about a little bit more judging issues in MMA. Yeah, he has to choose a haircut. He had a comb over, mullet, mohawk, half shave.
Half shave.
I put that on Twitter. Looks like he's fighting out of a Chaz, right?
Yeah.
Straight out of the Capitol Hill Autonomous
Yeah.
Zone. Lando Venata versus Mike. It's not his nickname, but his nickname should be Solomon Grundy because he kind of looks like a big zombie.
Yeah.
And it went pretty much how we thought it would go. Grundy was going to try to take the takedowns. We both were really big on Grundy for DK and the win. He just couldn't.
But also worth mentioning Lando Venetta's first appearance at featherweight.
Yes.
Normally fights up at lightweight with bigger guys trying to chase and tackle him down. The Bobby Greens and, all those guys. Tony Ferguson's he had war with. Veneta looked good.
Well, here's one thing. You're not going to do anything to Lando that he hasn't seen before.
Yeah.
He's been there with, like I said, with great fighters, big fighters. I just thought the sheer brunt force of Grundy would be enough to get him down.
Yeah.
He was able to get Movsar Evelev down, who is, he comes out of fucking Russia. He's been with grapplers. He's fought even guys like Magomed and he's fought some top 10 guys in that weight class. He is grappling savvy, we'll call it. And Lando just was better.
His footwork was good. Man. His combinations were good. His takedown defense was good. His cardio was good.
What did he get? A couple takedowns in there, 2 or 3.
I think he got 3 out of 20. Grundy got 3 out of 20.
He tried
attempts.
a whole lot and only made a few.
Well,
of
it's
them.
like Dean Thomas made a pretty good analysis during the fight. He's like he's just compartmentalizing too much. He's showing his cards too much.
Yeah, that was Dean was really good in the broadcast.
We need more of Dean on there.
Yeah,
he's good.
I like him better than Trevor Whitman.
Yeah, I like Trevor Whitman too. But Trevor Whitman's more of a striking ball game, so it's kind of like to see the whole.
Like Dean Thomas said that Grundy was like, I'm either going to wrestle or I'm either going to strike. He had that good counter right. It was kind of hurting Lando, hit him a little bit.
He had some spots if he let his hands go. But.
Yeah, I mean, one judge thought he won every round of the fight.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Well, here's where I kind of talked about this on Twitter today too. I can see where the 30-27 came from because every round was very similar. So if you think that Grundy won round 1, I can see why you think he won 2 and 3.
Yeah, I can see
like the
context.
same sequences were going on, and that's what he saw. Now, why he thought he won that, I don't agree with. I think it was a 29-28 Lando fight. I gave Grundy round 2, but again, so if you thought that Grundy won one of those rounds, I can see how you could think he won all 3 of them because they're very similar rounds. Lando, who knows? Featherweight, right? Who knows what he's going in the future? He's kind of long in the tooth. Grundy, I think he's going to be a prelim type guy for a while. He's like I said, he's good in spots, but he doesn't blend.
Well, it's kind of like those the martial artists, MMA guys coming out of like the UK and England and stuff. There's like a gap. They're either really good and they're outstanding,
but they
or
all
they're
kind of compartmentalize their style. Even like a guy like Darren Till, like he's really good when he's kickboxing. Yeah. If he's purely grappling, it's okay. But the blend.
Leon Edwards is very well rounded, though. He can grapple.
I don't know. You saw him go against Kamaru Usman. It kind of did not look like he can grapple that well.
Usman,
and has he fought a top level grappler?
No.
Yeah. Besides that,
we almost got to find out.
Right. We'll find out soon.
All right, let's keep rolling.
Another fun fight for a while. Lasted.
Beverly Hills Ninja Jordan Wright. The night
guys
Jamie
lost
Pickett.
me money on this fight.
We lost ourselves money too.
Yeah.
My freaking my horse was tied to the fucking Jamie Pickett. He was my cart.
So, again, what this fight told me is that Tafon and Chukwi does not have any punching power.
Yeah.
I suspected it after he fought Jamie Pickett, and then I really suspected it after he fought the Iron Turtle last week, right? Because he landed some flush shots on Pickett, and Pickett ate it for 3 rounds. Chukwi's a big guy. Like, oh, man, this guy's got a chin. Pickett does have some knockout power. He's knocked people out on the circuit. He won the Contender Series by knocking people out. And then you have Jordan Wright, who's had all his fights end in knockout. So
up until Joaquin Buckley, right?
Oh, no, that ended in knockout too.
Well, he had 110 up until that point. I'm saying he was finishing
every single one of Jordan Wright's fights ended in a knockout. I think it's under like 90 seconds. So they're all pretty short fights.
Yeah.
And I thought that Buckley exposed Wright's chin. His regional resume is not that impressive. A lot of 0-0 guys he fought. So I was like, how really good is this guy? And he came out and he hit Pickett with those elbows against the cage, and it changed the fight from there on out. And kind of Pickett, press comes out aggressive, throws a couple of combinations. They kind of trade a little bit, and then he presses against the fence and tries to double leg him. And he just did not want to let go of that double leg, and that made him pay for it.
Yeah, he hit those elbows. That's becoming a thing. It's kind of like the leg kick, right? Yeah. It's those elbows on the cage defending those shots.
Those shots, yeah. And
you hang out there too long, it's not going to be good.
Again, the trend continues that Jordan Wright, that most likely is going to end in a first-round knockout.
Yeah.
First or second round.
Play him in your DraftKings
Look
lineups.
under 1.5.
Look
for a
fighting.
knockout in that fight. And, he's a guy to target when it comes to fights.
He's fun to watch. He comes to fight.
Right.
He ain't fucking around.
He's stand up there. I'd like to see him against a high-level grappler and see what happens there. He hasn't really faced any of those in his time.
Yeah.
But and then Jamie Pickett, I think he might be back to the regional circuit.
He might be getting cut.
Right.
They're not playing around these days.
Yeah. All right, last card on the
Speaking of getting cut,
first card on the prelim, rather.
Oh, KGB might have been cut if she did not win this fight.
Yeah.
And then she came out with, we had Andrea Lee versus Antonina Shevchenko, the other Shevchenko.
Yeah.
The one
Little
bright
bullet,
spot
big
in
bullet.
my night. I called this upset. I thought that Lee would have the edge grappling, similar to how Chikagian beat Antonina in their fight. KGB Lee has been really tough luck decisions. I was looking over her resume a little bit. The people that she's fought, the fights that she's lost, split decisions. We're talking about judges every fucking week on this show. She's a lot better than her record would indicate. Where I almost think it's the opposite for Antonina, where she's maybe not as good as her name and record suggests.
Yeah.
And I put that 2 and 2 together, and that's why maybe you get Lee, and Lee was awesome in that fight.
last night you're definitely paying for name value,
Right.
and it's. I don't see where Antonina goes.
Well, she just beat Lipsky, which
Yeah,
was a
but
good
this
win.
is the bottom of the barrel still.
Which was a good win. It was a top 15 win. She is young in her career. I don't think she's ever going
She's
to ever
30,
elevate.
36.
No, I'm talking about, her age isn't young, but she's
Yeah.
still young in her MMA career as far as like 9 fights, 10 fights,
Yeah.
something like that. But again, and she can fight. I don't think she's ever going to be in title consideration. She can be a tough fight for an up and comer. You're coming to the UFC, you start with the super gateway, not even gateway to the top 15, like gateway are you UFC level, because she is a UFC level fighter.
She's world champion Muay Thai fighter.
Right.
Like, just train your fucking takedown defense. Like, just keep the fight on the feet.
Yeah, I mean, easier said than done, though.
Yeah,
too,
that's
right?
true. I mean, but she hung out in a triangle for almost 4 minutes of
Yeah,
the
we
round.
know it. Wrestling sucks, man.
Yeah.
Training wrestling sucks. It hurts. It's tiring. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a skill like her in a stand-up. So I
Yeah.
just don't think that's going to be part of the equation. And I think, she's not the type of person she should be cut from the UFC. She's not like bad like that, but I just don't think she's ever going to be. I think we judge her a little harsher because of her name, too.
Probably.
Like,
Hold
oh,
her
your
to a higher
sister's so
standard.
fucking good, one of the
Yeah.
best fighters in the world. Why aren't you even that level?
Yeah.
So she gets probably a lot of praise because of her name, but also it's a double-edged sword,
It's probably a mental battle for her too. I can't even imagine. You're stepping in that cage and you're trying to.
And
You're
plus,
in the shadow of
maybe
Valentina.
it may sound crazy, but maybe she just fights for fun.
Yeah.
Like, she has a lot of shit going on in her life.
Yeah.
She's the pilot. We talked about it last
she's
week.
like the female Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the Shevchenko sisters are spies.
Yeah.
So maybe she just enjoys it. She obviously makes money out of it, but maybe she's not.
Yeah, it's a release.
Right, exactly. Again, Lee stays in the fight.
Yeah.
Well, where does Lee go?
But that was the longest
I'd give her another top 10. What's this at 125?
Yeah.
We're over
Maybe
here.
maybe either a Rougeau or a Calvillo.
Yeah.
Or even at OnlyFans #1 earner, Jessica I. How about that? I don't know if she's making enough money off her titty pictures that she don't have to fight no more. But
Shit, take her all the way up. Give her a fucking Chukagan. Make her go #2 already.
had they fought before?
What's
I think?
Grasso doing? Is Grasso fighting?
She has, she's definitely got a good fight for her as well. Again, there's a lot of good fight. I'm trying to figure out because a lot of these 125ers have fought each other already.
Yeah. I think Calvillo and Maya are fighting, no? Or who's Maya fighting?
I have.
You have Joanne fighting Lauren
I know
Murphy.
these two are fighting, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I kind of talked about Michelle Watterson fighting these two, but again, that's another winner of that fight could be a thing too.
Yeah.
Talia Santos is fighting somebody too. I saw her
Yeah.
name on a card. There's so many damn fights; it's hard to tell who's fucking going against who.
Well, let's keep rolling
Right.
to.
All right. Big story with this next fight.
So again,
These
this is
are
kind of
the
we kind of
early prelims.
Yeah.
We're getting into here.
right.
Okay.
These are the ones that only the degenerates like us watch.
Yeah.
So we had Gina Danger Mazzani versus Zombie Girl Priscilla Cachoeda. And we kind of talked about standing up, when to, not to, what should we do, how should we attack it. And this is when standing them up directly changed the momentum, the trajectory of this whole fucking fight. Mazzani was kind of cruising through this fight with her wrestling.
Through the first round for sure.
Right, and then even through that second round when she had her down again on the floor in control, Cachoeira was getting better anytime they were standing, and we kind of knew that was the deal.
Yeah.
But anytime she got in trouble, Mazzani
Mazzani,
was able to take her down to the ground and control her there.
Yeah.
Until at one point, Mike Beltran in the second round decides to stand her
Wasn't
up.
having it.
And then that was it. Cachoeira got back on her feet and Mazzani was cooked. She was spent. Almost like she almost quit before she was getting hit. Like there's one
she
point,
quit.
There's
She
that
quit.
one point when she went to run to her corner. Where the fuck was she going to run to?
Yeah.
And then she had to turn back in.
You could see the look on her face, and I'm not being critical of her.
No,
but you can say she's
you can just
exhausted.
see it,
I've been that exhausted. I know.
Yeah, it was physical. It was physical exhaustion. She was
Yeah.
like, "I'm done with this fight," and she tried to run away, but then her fighting spirit kind of took over. It's like I stepped back into it, and Cachoeda just lit her the fuck up against that cage and got the knockout victory. So again, this is a case where they did stand them back up, something I always ask for, and it totally changed the fight.
Yeah, she takes her down and just falls into the closed guard and was just kind of like wanting to hang out there. And Beltran's like, no.
And then Beltran, who later in this card was in that Tony and Dariush fight, decided not to. So was it buyer's remorse what he did earlier in the night?
Yeah.
Was it? Did he see it differently? I don't know what. That's the
Well,
problem.
they were striking each other a little bit more though, like Dariush and Ferguson.
But he did warn Dariush a few times.
Yeah.
He warned him.
There was just a little bit more action in that fight.
So that's the problem.
Whereas he could probably see that Mazzani was exhausted. He probably could see what she was trying to do.
Right.
Like where those two were kind of working, Dariush, but
Again, let's do it. Either you never stand him up, or we put that pinfall in there.
yeah.
Pinfall victory.
Yeah, I don't know where Mazzani goes. Is she gonna be getting another fight? What?
I don't know. She did win her last fight. It was Hodzovic, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That doesn't count. She'll get another fight, I think, for sure. Again, there's just not that many world class women's fighters, and you'll see women's fighters get cut a lot less than men because there's tons of dudes doing this shit coming up to the ranks, and we'll try this person out in the Ultimate Fighter, we'll try them in the Contender Series. Whereas the numbers game in general, whereas Mazzani's not a fucking bum, she's not like a slouch in the cage. Whereas Priscilla Cachoeda has her moments on the feet. She's
Throw some leather.
Yeah, she can
Some
fucking
heavy hands.
She can light a person up. Again, another person. If you see her on a DraftKings slate and she's low price, she's somebody you want to put in a couple lineups because she could fucking knock out anybody.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep rolling.
Man,
This is another thing I have.
my second horse to my cart.
I was right here with you too. Kevin Aguilar, the Angel of Death versus Top Gun Tucker Lutz, making his UFC debut. Now this is where I actually stuck to my guns and it bit me in the ass. So I jumped off my 2021 plan with Souza and it bit me in the ass. I stuck to my guns and not betting on a debuting Contender Series person.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing in 2021. I'm not going to a debuting UFC Dana White's Contender Series fighter. I'm going to bet against them every single time.
And I went with Lutz here. You know, I thought he would wrestle him, grapple him.
He
I
did.
thought he would grapple fuck him, which was nowhere near a fuck.
No. he held him down.
Yeah, he held him down.
Aguilar was
Fought
able
a
to get up a few times.
Yeah, fought a safe fight, but he actually had some moments with the striking too. He was catching Aguilar off guard, but I mean, it was just a well played, safe, decent debut from Turk Lutz, I would say. You know.
Well, one thing I liked about Aguilar going into this fight is he's fought some good fighters. He had Charles Rosa, couldn't finish him, right? He fought Dan Ige, who's maybe on his way to a title fight soon, couldn't finish him. So I knew that Tucker Lutz was not going to finish him in this fight, and I thought Lutz would gas, and he didn't. Yeah. He did get tired as fuck, but he still had enough in the tank to get him down and get those takedowns. And again, technically win the fight, but not my cup of tea. Yeah. And for some reason, they decided not to stand this fight up. So again,
well, and Aguilar, you know, finally started to put it together in the third round. It was a little bit too late.
Right.
And then, you know, shooting for a takedown.
Because Lutz was gassed.
Yeah, it's like just keep throwing the leather, man.
I think that was his instinct.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
fight IQ thing too, though.
Yeah. So again, Aguilar, that's his fourth loss in a row. That might be it for him.
Be it.
Lutz, they'll probably get him another low level outside the top 15 guy.
He
before.
needs a few more of those.
Right. He did not impress me. I'll tell you what, he did not impress me in this fight. He did not make me think, oh, this guy's got title. Is this featherweight? Yeah, in that division. In that division, this guy does not excite me.
Oh yeah, we don't even need to go to the rankings. We're not even talking about Tucker Lutz in the rankings yet. He doesn't deserve us to search this, Jody.
Look at these motherfuckers in that fucking division. You don't want none of that. You don't want no problems with those guys.
Right. All right, let's keep rolling.
First fight.
My Greek brother.
Yeah. Sean Soriano, Christos Giagos, the Spartan.
So, last second edition, Soriano is basically a training partner with Chandler.
Yeah, he had a previous stint in the UFC, went 0-3.
Right. Who was his originally going to fight? The guy from Spain.
Joel Alvarez.
Joel Alvarez. He had some visa issues, so he couldn't get in this fight. So they got Soriano the last. And it kind of went the way we thought on the feet. Sean Soriano was fucking him up
in that first
round.
He
was fucking him up. We were nervous because we both had pretty high investment in Christos Giagos.
Kind of started like that in round 2 there for a bit too.
And then Giagos finally got him down to that fucking ground, locked in that Darce, and got that sub victory. But if you look at the striking on the stats, It was pretty.
Soriano was winning the fight.
And we kind of knew that too, that Soriano had the edge in the feet. And another thing we had to worry about was Giago's gas tank. Yeah. It was looking kind of depleted. Even with a
12-week, so maybe keep that in mind.
A lot of muscle on that guy. A lot of muscle on that guy. So it takes a lot of. But he did, don't want to knock a person that just got a sub victory in the UFC.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, he's a guy who's kind of long in the tooth for where he's at in his career. Again, not an old man by any stretch of imagination, but he's been around for a while.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Soriano again. That's 0-4 in UFC. So.
Yeah, but that was last second ad. He came fight week, and he actually didn't look like shit in that fight. He looked pretty good in that fight. So he might get another fight somewhere down the road, especially
They'll probably need a guy.
Right, they'll need a guy to get in there for sure.
Yeah. All right, well that wraps up 262. How were our whiskey and wager?
Well, this wasn't an official bet I made, but I did have Diaz to win by submission, and that paid off for me, and that was about it. The night started out really fucking good for me.
I'm in the hole myself.
And then it
about $70 or so.
Dive bombed all the way down. So
$75 in the hole.
Going over what we had, the one thing we did do well was with our DraftKings rankings, our 9K options.
But my lineups didn't do well.
Our 9K rankings were on the
plays.
nose, right? We ranked them all the same. We both thought Christos Giagos would be the highest scoring 9K person, and he was. Yeah. We thought Mazzani would be second, and she was. And we thought the worst option was Antonina, and she was. So we hit that perfectly. Yeah. As far as the value, I had Michael Chandler, so did Tony. Did not work out. We both had Tony Ferguson. Did not work out. I went Viviana Rougeau, who scored well for a loss at 54 points. I think she won the fight, so if she would have got that win bonus, 84. She would have been nice. It would have been nice having your lineup for her price. But again, shit didn't break that way. Tony did have probably one of the steals of the night in Andre Muniz, who scored over 100 points at his price tag with that sub-victory over Souza. As far as whiskey and wagers go, I struck out on my 3 locks. We talked about Kevin Aguilar, who I was really high on him going in. Knocked me out there. Michael Chandler, we both liked, who was just a few seconds, a couple more strikes away from winning that damn fight in the first round.
You couldn't pass up that value anyway. Right. It wasn't a bad bet.
It was a good bet. He, again, a few strikes away from winning that. Yeah. And then we had, I had Jamie Pickett to win by TKO, which did not turn out. I knew there was going to be a TKO in that fight. Yeah. I just chose the wrong guy doing it. But Jody, I keep looking at you saying Jody. Jamie Pickett getting that loss. But yeah, it was a rough night. Head-to-head picks. Tony at least broke even with the 6-6. But if you saw my post on Twitter today, you can kind of see how my night went. I was 2 and whatever left. Whatever the other fight. I got 2 right. That was it. A whole lot wrong. You got to own your L's, right? I sit there and brag when I pick good ones. When I get my wins, you hear about it all the time. So you got to own when you got to wear it when you get your fucking loss. And I got pounded last night. Luckily, I was not that financially invested into this card because it was a tough read. It really was. Lots of evenly matched fights. We talked about it last night. The matchmakers did their job well last night because it was hard to call who's going to win these fights.
Yeah, it was tough to pick a winners in all those fights.
I'm sure some fucking asshole will be like, no, I went 12 for 12. I knew it. I knew this was going to happen.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
I get 12 out of 12.
If you pick every single fucking fight in the UFC, you're going to have some nights like what we have right now.
It's hard to pick all losers.
Yeah. All right. So,
Tony's ahead. What's our...
Tony is up 8 fights right now. Yeah. About midway point in the year, right? We're just creeping up on that midway point in the year. Tony's at 113 and 69 with 2 ties. We had both that, obviously. And then I had 105 and 77 with those 2 draws as well. So, again, I narrowed the margin for a while, and then Tony burst out again. I don't know if Tony burst out or I just fucking suck so bad. Like I said,
I think it's a little column A, a little column B.
I mean, you gain 4 fights on a break even night. That's me fucking failing pretty bad.
You sucked it up last night.
Well, he brought out he's popping the collar.
Yeah, he brought a sexy shirt out. He can breathe a little bit more, but again, we got fights every week.
Flamingos ready for next week if it goes well for me.
Again, there will be a time where 2-10 comes around for him. It's gonna happen. We pick fights every fucking week.
It has earlier this year. I was like 3 and 11 or some shit.
It happened. It comes around. We'll be back. Speaking of which, we got Fight Night 5 million from the Apex coming up. Fun main event going on in this one.
Dana saying not in the cards for crowds at Fight Nights. They're gonna stay cozy at the Apex for the rest of the year,
which is good. I like it.
It's a nice little mix, right?
I like it. I like the Apex fights. Could you imagine that Jacare snap in the Apex? The echo.
The echo.
It was loud in that fucking crowd of people.
Yeah. Well, and I think Dariush said Ferguson's leg
cracked.
popped too.
Yeah, he did. So
Well, we got Cody Garbrandt and Rob Font.
So
Number
everything
3, number 4.
everything we said about Burgos and Barbosa. Let's double down right here.
I don't think this goes out of the first round.
This is one that we disagree on.
Yeah.
But it's going to end up in a knockout. This fight is going to end up with someone going to sleep.
Yeah.
I think Cody No Love, calm Cody, is going to get it done.
I think Rob Font's going to knock him out with his reach advantage. He's going to connect.
Here, the reason
It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a banger.
I liken this a little bit to the Magny and Jeff Neal fight, where it's Font's got the hands only to get this
Will
win.
Cody mix in the grappling and shit?
He can.
Will he?
He might have
he
to.
loves those firefights.
But he also got better kicks than Font does.
Hopefully he's learned his lesson.
Font's is more pure boxer, very similar to his boy Calvin Kattar, right? They're very similar fighters. Cody's got better head movement. He's more of an athlete. And Cody Garbrandt's the underdog right now as we speak.
Yeah.
He's worth a play. He's worth a play.
I mean, they're pretty close, plus
But
100.
again, I think Cody Garbrandt is a world champion. He's been a world champion, right?
Yeah.
And Rob Font is not. I don't think he is. He knocked out Marlon Moraes, but who hasn't in 2020?
True.
You know, who hasn't at that? But again, I could be here next week saying I just went 2-10. So
I'm going to pick Rob Font because he burned me against Moraes. So
I bet that. Let me tell you that one.
Yeah, you had Font.
I bet that I laid down the fucking prop bet too for Rob Font to knock out Marlon Moraes. So again, it's good at our odds. I need to be at odds. I'm down 8 fucking fights.
All right, next fight.
So we got Ben okay.
Did you want to go back?
No, we
These are
got
just
it.
bets.
Well,
This
we'll
is
just go
right,
through
yeah.
this is just on the. I'm looking at the best fight odds. We'll look at it right here. We have Yan Xiaonan. I think that's how you say it.
Best fight odds isn't in order of the card.
Versus the Cookie Monster Carla Esparza. I like Yan in this fight.
I like Jan.
We're gonna agree on this one,
Yeah.
and I don't see me wavering throughout the week.
Yeah.
Carla Esparza been around for a while, has her veteran. I think Jan's on fast track to get that fucking
I think Jan
championship
keeps it
shot.
standing. Jan's going to piece her up.
Right, it's gonna. Jan's kind of very similar to Wei Lee with the power fucking strike, those kicks that are fucking vicious, and she could mix in the grappling too. So again, I think Jan might be avenging her fucking countrywoman's loss and coming in and beating the fuck out of Esparza and working her way towards fucking Rose. Talking about,
and we could see that sooner than later.
Right, we could very very soon by the end of the year.
Yeah,
possibly.
for sure.
Possibly.
Let's keep rolling.
This is
There's no
Justin Tafa, or Tony likes to call it Bam Bam Tuivasa versus Jared Vanderaa.
Tuivasa.
I like Jared Vanderaa in this fight. I think he's better all around. Like I said, we kind of talk about Tafa getting knocked out by fucking Jorgen De Castro, who's been cut.
That's what I like to call him. Jorgen Bam Bam
And,
Tuivasa.
and Jorgen De Castro is a very small heavyweight, short, stocky, and he's able to get inside and put Tafa to sleep.
Yeah.
Whereas Vanderaa's a big boy.
You picked You like Jared Vanderaa.
Yeah,
you
I
picked
do.
him last time. I
But
don't know.
Speedback-
I'm going with Tafa.
Speedback's a way better fighter than Justin Tafa.
I'm going to go Tafa.
Are we putting Survey Speedback and Justin Tafa in the same conversation?
No, we're not, but I just don't. I'm not that high on Jared Vanderaa or whatever.
I think Vanderaa wins this fight by knockout. It's going to end in a knockout.
He don't win this one. He's out.
Tafa's a favorite at -2,
Right.
and Jared's 160.
I like Jared Vanderaa in this fight.
I'm going to take Justin Tafa.
Let's keep it rolling.
Another fun one.
All right, so
here.
there's a last minute replacement
Bye,
here, right?
Felicia.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Danielle
The phenom.
Wolf, the featherweight contender series winner, her first fight was going to be against Felicia Spencer because there's just no fighters in this division. She withdraws for whatever reason, and now we have Norma Dumont Viana. Isn't Norma Dumont the one who can't make weight to save her life?
I think so.
Maybe.
She looked impressive her last fight, though, I believe.
Yeah, I think she struggles with making weight, though. I don't know. It could be wrong. Could be somebody else, but I'm going to go Felicia
Me
Spencer
too.
here. I think she's going to tap her. Sub her.
Look, my favorite thing about Felicia Spencer is she fought Amanda Nunes and Cyborg back to back, and neither one of those women could finish her.
Yeah.
You went 5 rounds. You went 10 rounds with Cyborg and Nunes, and you were standing at the end of it.
Yeah.
Didn't go to sleep. Didn't get knocked out. Probably should have had her corner throwing the towel a few times, but it didn't happen. She's a tough chick, and I think that she gets this done. Probably by decision.
Yeah, she should win. I mean, but she went from being like a minus 600 favorite or something over Danielle Wolf to now she's a minus 140, which kind of I think.
167.
Okay, I think. Well, I got 167.
I mean, Dumont's not a slouch, but she's not a
Yeah.
Nunes or
I think it'd be
Cyborg.
good value for Spencer towards the end of the.
Yeah, we'll see how that
We'll
goes.
see how it goes.
All right, next.
David Dvorak versus
David
Ruliar
Dvorak.
Paiva.
I don't know much about Paiva, but
I'm leaning Dvorak.
Yeah.
He definitely the favorite coming in here, higher rank for sure. You know how these flyweights go. They fucking are fucking lightning in a fucking bottle.
was Paiva contender series?
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe I did see him fight. Yeah. Let's see. I want to check this out.
Number 11, number 12.
I like Dvorak. He's the favorite going in here. And again, a little bit more experience edge. I believe I think it might be making his debut in the UFC.
Yeah, he was Contender Series. He won over Nascimento, but Pavaya's lost to Kai Kara France, Rogerio Bonteron. He beat Mark De La Rosa and Zalgas Zumagala.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
saying much.
Yeah.
So that's not saying much at all.
I'll probably side with David here.
Yeah, so
Dvorak.
another one we're going to disagree on.
All right, here's one we broke down the week before. We're at
Yeah.
odds on this one.
Yeah, we talked about it in our last episode because it was supposed to be on 262. I'm going with the young man Shabazian. Tony's going with the vet Jack the Joker. This should be a tight fight.
Yeah.
Again, this is a throw your fucking coin in the air, flip it, and see who wins.
Yeah.
I'm going with the younger guy. I think Shabazian gets back on track, whereas Tony stays.
I
with
think
the
Jack
Joker.
might get him on the ground and catch him with a sub.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll
it
see.
could happen. It could happen for sure.
Is there anyone else on?
There's a few other fights, yeah.
Here's the prelim.
There's another fight we broke down before with
Yeah.
Ramos and Aljo.
Yeah.
I'm siding with Ramos in this fight.
I'm gonna go Algio here.
Right, and then
Yeah.
again, another one that's gonna be a close contender fight. I like Ramos.
Ben Rothwell's fight.
So Ben Rothwell's been having issues getting an opponent.
Yeah.
You sent me that one dude during the week who looked like an experiment from somewhere.
Yeah, he
over
couldn't get
in-
his visa right.
He's actually fighting out of Malaysia, Kuala
Yeah.
Lumpur.
He was supposed to fight in PFL, and they pulled him off to be on
Yeah.
that Rothwell fight. And it turned out his visa didn't
Yeah,
come through.
and then they got him another one. I think before this guy or
Big
no?
Chris Bam Bam Barnett.
Okay, so
Big
there was
bull.
Lins, the other guy. Now
This
Barnett
guy's a
guy.
fucking tank.
Yeah, I saw-
All right,
I
with
saw.
the big
He's
dreads
huge.
and shit like that,
Yeah.
he's fun. I think
Yeah.
this guy can come out and end Ben Rothwell's career.
Do you think so?
Yes, I mean his career is almost over anyway. I think he's gonna get a knockout loss here, and this guy's gonna be a star in the making.
Ben Rothwell might put that experience on.
It
him.
could happen too, but the
Ben's a
personality
big
of Chris
boy.
Barnett, and he's got some.
I think
pop.
I've seen this guy fight actually.
Yeah, he's definitely way more athletic than you see his body type. He's a big tank of a man, but he can move
Does he do a
around.
lot of flashy spinning shit?
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's if he does pull this off, he's gonna be a star in the UFC because he's fun to watch fight. Especially you see this guy who's big 265, and he's not like a Francis Ngannou 265. He's I like to eat cheeseburgers 265, but he does all kinds of spinning shit and fun stuff like
You
that.
see, he got a super fight with Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
I gotta watch this later.
So again, we're gonna be at odds with that one.
Mark Henry out here.
I'm sticking to my guns and going with the younger fighter.
Yeah.
Claudio Silva, Court McGee. I'm gonna
Two
go
older
with,
guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Silva in this one.
Silva didn't impress me too much last time. He kind of gassed out and stuff. I'm gonna go Court McGee.
I think
He
it's gonna
lost
go
the.
one. If you're gonna bet this fight, I would say go to distance. I think this one does go the distance for sure. Court McGee's hard to finish, but again, I think Silva gets the edge off in this way. Another
Bruno Silva beats Victor Rodriguez. Victor Rodriguez, he's on the Alaskan circuit, is he not?
Yeah,
we broke him down.
yeah. There's a reason.
time
that Bruno
previous.
Silva's like a minus 400 favorite. I'm going
Yeah,
with
Bruno Silva should win.
I'm going with both Silvas.
Bulldog.
It's a Silva party for me.
And then we got Koulibaly, who screwed up my DraftKings lineups one time, drawing one of our draws on our records. Who would he? Charles Jordan. So Koulibaly.
Koulibaly versus Shah Elan. Not much. Obviously, there's no picture for this guy on Elan. Koulibaly's a big favorite, and I doubt I'm going to see anything on tape.
Yeah.
Going the distance with Jordan is a fucking shows you got some skill, you got some power, you got some toughness for sure. Because Jordan could throw down. Ask Marcelo Rose's face after that fight they had.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll with Koulibaly in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
We got Yancy Meteoros versus Damier Hodzovic. I think Hodzovic has my favorite line in the UFC of all time, where old boy finishes him and tells him he wants to keep fighting. Hodzovic goes, well, why'd you finish me? Why can't we just keep fighting? Then why'd you tap me, bro?
This will be another pick-em style fight. Very close line.
It's a close fight.
I like Hadzovic in it.
I'm going to go Yancy here.
All right.
Yancy had a funny story recently, right? He said USADA showed up while he was...
Alves and... who was it?
Oh wait.
Rafael Alves and Damier Ismagulov.
Well, we got to talk about USADA showing up at Yancy's house while he's banging his girlfriend on the couch, wanting to get a sample
Hey,
test.
USADA comes, baby. You gotta
So hopefully that shit's sorted out.
give him some kind of
I was like,
fluid.
I'll give you a sample. I'll give you a sample right now.
I don't know really much about either two fights. I'm kind of leaning to Ismagulov.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ismagulov. I think he's a heavy favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the biggest favorite on the card,
Yeah.
minus 525.
Again, that's kind of why I'm leaning his way. The fact that it's that big. I'm not gonna bet this fight because I don't want to pay any price that much. But again, I'm going with that. And then lastly, I like Stephanie Egger.
Very low level women's fight here. Yeah.
Yes,
I
and
think
no.
I'll take Stephanie Egger.
Is a high class
judo. She trained with
She-
Rousey. She
she-
beat Rousey in a judo match. Did you know?
Yeah, and she debuted. It was against Tracy Cortez.
Yeah.
It was a tough debut fight.
Yeah.
In UFC. She didn't look terrible. She
Yeah.
lost the fight. She lost by decision. Actually, she was one of my underdog picks when she did debut. So I think she does get this win here over Alpar. I think that's kind of like they're giving her a bow and they give her a win.
I'll go with Egger
Yeah,
too.
very, very good judoku. I think I see some fucking Kasagatami going out of this fight.
maybe.
We're going hip tosses. We're going to Conejo
She almost had it a few times against Cortez,
Right.
if I remember correctly.
She did, yeah, against that fence. But yeah, I'm going to Egger.
All right, that wraps up what is this, Vegas?
27, is it?
Doesn't say.
I think it's 27.
It's 27, yeah.
Be sure to follow our Instagram, and you guys will put up your value 9K.
All of our DraftKings stuff, our whiskey and wagers.
We should maybe throw in there like a favorite play on the whole slate too. Who do we think's gonna?
Well, I do have that little
Break the slate guy.
note section.
Yeah.
I kind of put that. You can put that in there, or we can also do that. Throw that into
just
as well.
one like break the slate person maybe.
I always try to put like my core where I'm building with, so people have an idea of like two people I'm gonna have, and like my core got fucking raped this week. That's
Yeah,
why I didn't win
mine
anything.
too.
Mine was
Grundy, Pickett, and fucking Aguilar.
Grundy and Aguilar was really my core. And I tried to build around that. It was Grundy, Aguilar, and Gallegos. That was my core. I tried to switch everything else around it. But when Grundy lost, when Aguilar lost, like this is gonna be a rough fucking night.
Yeah,
for
it was
me.
a rough DraftKings. I was over halfway through the card.
You got to do that if you want to hit, though. You got to have some guys. I'm gonna tie a cart to these guys. It's gonna be a really good night. It's gonna be a bullshit night. You don't want to win $1 anyway.
All right, let's move on to this week in MMA. What do we got? Fight announcement.
Fun fights. A lot of fun fights being announced the last couple of days.
Paulo Costa.
Costa's
Cannonier.
finally over his hangover, so he's going to be fighting Jared Cannonier. Man, a hangover takes as long as a forearm break.
Man, I don't know. I don't know about this fight. I don't know where I'm leaning.
I'm going to go with Costa.
I think so too. Cannonier looked like shit against Bobby.
Yeah, I think this is a fight Costa can win. It's a style that he matches up well against.
He is.
Two brawlers.
Reporters on that fight. See that?
Who is it?
Gonna be on that. See the lab.
Roy Val and
Yeah, Roy Val and
Pantoja. That
Pantoja.
should be the fucking main event.
That's
I
gonna
love
be a good
that
one.
I
Luis
love
Saldana
Pantoja.
and Austin Lingo will be a banger.
Vince Pichel and Hubbard should be a fun one.
Yeah.
Parker
Porter,
Porter,
Chase Sherman.
and Chase Sherman.
Chase Sherman. William Knight, Fabio Charant.
That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
a good
that should
card.
be. I was.
I'm leaning
disappointed
Costa.
in that last Costa fight, obviously.
Yeah. But you went up against a freaking technician.
Right.
You know, like
Wanna
I
get
don't
the best in
think
the world.
Cannonier's that much of a
Wanna get the
technician.
best in the
yeah, he's a
world.
brawler too. You know.
Not just
Best
eight.
in the world, the guy that just lost.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
We went up against a guy much bigger than him. Come on.
He didn't lose. He didn't lose. At the most, he ran out of time. At the most, he ran out of time. There's no such thing as the
Mike's
decision.
gonna coast on that one for a while.
I just ran out of time.
If I'm still standing, I'm still standing, right? I ain't asleep. Nothing's broken.
That one's taking us
Let's
through
go.
2021 right there.
Let's go.
It's got a full tank.
Hey, Mike, them's is not the rules.
Hey, I wasn't there when they made the rules. I didn't agree to them.
Mike's starting his own organization. If you guys don't know,
One day,
it's
gonna
kill or be killed.
It's gonna
Nate
be
Diaz is his first fight.
It's gonna be the best organization ever.
So Nate, why are you here? Kill, be kill, motherfucker.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm still standing. Well, that was the Rocky quote, right? Like,
I
where are
ain't-
you going? I'm still standing.
I ain't hear no bell.
Right. You're no bell. That's it. That's it. All right, let's keep rolling. What else we got here?
Another fun
That's
one
a pretty
here.
good fight here.
Derek Brunson
I think
versus
this
Darren,
is a tough fight for Till in a way,
Darren Till.
especially if Brunson tries to wrestle.
I'm going Derek
August
Brunson in this
14th.
fight.
That's not terribly far away.
He's young, but I think I'm jumping off the Darren Till train.
I understand that. I think Till's gonna catch him, but I could see Brunson
Like
winning
who?
this fight.
Like Till, his best one is Cowboy, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
And everybody
Well,
else.
they gave him a decision over Wonder Boy. I don't think he beat Wonder Boy that night.
No, that's probably his best one.
Yeah,
That's his
but
best
I
one.
don't think he.
Hey,
won
if
the
we're gonna
fight,
talk
but-
about Izzy lost a decision, you're gonna talk about your decision. Hey, decision. All right, it's gold. It's an actual win. That guy said he won. That's how he won the fight. That guy,
man.
that one guy.
Yeah,
said
I guess
he
you're
won.
right because you have your perceptions, right? There is no such thing as reality; it's perception.
Hey, if you want to
Fuck
count,
it,
if you want to count Izzy's loss, that's
I'm
a
going
starting
with
point.
Till. I'm going with Till here. I think he's gonna catch him.
I think Brunson's gonna
I
wrestle.
think they
fuck
really,
him.
really want Till. You know.
Yeah, but I think if you look at, I kind of look towards the Woodley fight, and Woodley was able to throw Till around like he was nothing, and that was like Woodley's last good performance. After that, Woodley went to shit.
And maybe Till made it look good.
Well, we're going to
Yeah.
talk about Woodley here shortly.
Yeah. So
Some news lose.
I think Brunson derails another young buck, and if Dana gets 10, he still stays at 7. Like he just keeps beating these fucking ranked guys.
No more
and just
cash
stays
in the
at 7.
till. No more
two
cash
checks.
in the
Derek
till.
2 checks gets that win.
Yep.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Next is Nick Diaz. I don't know.
Oh,
if you
I was
guys
watching
saw
these
this
videos.
with
Make the
seen
fight.
Tyson Fury.
I
haven't
love
seen
when
this.
Tyson Fury says, "Make the fight. Come on, make the fight." Dosa. Yeah, Dosa.
I don't know who was learning from who during this thing.
Man,
but
they were just hanging out smoking weed.
yeah, it was just all over Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Tyson
Nick
Fury.
Diaz is enjoying his last little stretch here in the fight game, having some fun, hanging out with the
Yeah.
world champs.
Well, Dana was saying he doesn't feel like he's that motivated to come back and fight 'cause he's done it all, right?
Yeah, no, I think that means Dana said he wants to get paid and Dana want to pay him.
Yeah.
Dana
Well, I
won't-
mean, according to this the UFC Twitter account, it looks like Nick Diaz is itching for a fight again.
Yeah. Make the fight, Dana. Make the fight. You dosa.
You know, I mean, I think all three
You
of us
dosa.
are Diaz fans.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Of
We
course.
would all watch any fight that either of those brothers are in, and we'll get into that too.
I think you go Nick Diaz and Masvidal
Yeah, why not?
for the
Oh,
BMF.
I would love to see that.
I mean, that's the most
Look
makes
at
the most
Woodley.
sense.
Woodley's trying to get that action, huh?
There, now we're back at Woodley. I don't know. How do we feel about Woodley fighting Jake Paul?
I think
Jake
Woodley-
Paul might knock him out.
I don't think that happens. I don't know
I
about
think
that.
might be what happens. I think Woodley has just been not.
No, I don't know. Tyron Woodley has not been Askren.
True.
This is true.
He's got way better hands, and he hits way fucking harder. I guarantee that Tyron Woodley's going to hit Jake Paul harder than he's ever been in his life.
Yeah, I
It's not going to be some.
Should be what happens.
It's not going to. I'm not saying he knocks out Jake Paul. I'm not saying Jake Paul can't beat Tyron Woodley. But I'm saying if Jake Paul is going to get hit in this fight,
I just see
it's
so
gonna
many
get harder than
things.
he's ever been
So
hit.
many things change, right? Like you've got MMA guys that obviously are very competent with striking, but you're going 4 times the size gloves, right? 4 ounce to 16 ounce. There's a lot more room to block shit.
Yeah.
And then you also have.
but they spar with those.
Yeah, but it's
Box-
like
they
you
spar
also
with
have.
boxing gloves.
He's devoted 2 or 3 years just to boxing,
Yeah.
one art. Whereas these MMA guys, they've got to mix in everything.
Yeah, but we haven't
you
seen
know?
Jake Paul get hit by a man yet.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Yeah, this is true.
He hasn't
Yeah.
like I said. I'm not saying that Jake Paul can't beat Tyron Woodley or Tyron Woodley's going to knock Jake Paul, but Tyron Woodley's going to hit Jake Paul. He's not going to be some weird step out and look. He's not going to come in fucking out of shape like Ben Askren did. He's not going to be flabby around the midsection. He's going to hit him. How is he going to respond to that?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn with I think Woodley's on his way out of the UFC, and this might be his last attempt to money grab.
Oh, I'm sure.
He'll make a few $1 million on
Oh,
the deal.
absolutely.
Oh, he's trying to
And
get that
then,
attention. for sure.
lose and make us all look like fucking idiots. I mean, I really
Well,
want
I'll
to see.
tell you, I'm not betting that fight. I believe this is almost WWE
I mean, I'm definitely
shit.
getting ready for Justin Bieber to perform.
No, Aaron Carter versus Lamar Odom. It's coming up
Yeah.
soon. Less
That
than a
is
month.
crazy to me.
Excited for this.
How's that even being sanctioned?
I don't think it is.
It's exhibition
Did
bout.
you see that scummy ass promoter guy? That guy's
Yeah.
not sanctioning shit.
Right.
Oh yeah, Aaron Carter's not mentally stable. Should not be allowed to fight. But anyway.
He's about to be dead. Lamar Odom has what,
Lamar Odom is
150,
sitting-
200 pounds
he's
on
just
him?
laughing. He is just laughing during these press
Dude,
conferences.
he could literally, just hold his head.
It's literally gonna look like Mike Tyson's punch out. It's
Yes.
gonna be like they're trying to jump up to hit him. It's gonna look just like
I
Lil
don't
Mac.
understand.
Yeah, I don't.
But yeah, again, I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, Tyron Woodley's gonna ice Jake Paul," but he's gonna hit Jake Paul,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I
and it's
doubt
gonna fucking
even
hurt. Let's see how he comes back from that. Let's see how much Jake Paul likes boxing.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in a boxing match yet. He's fought 2 fucking guys that is 8 punches.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep that rolling. What else?
And then he does come back and he's got skill. Like Jake Paul's got boxing skill. It's not like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Right.
This should be a good fight.
Yes,
Another
I'm
fight
excited for
announcement
this
here.
one.
I think this should bring out the best of Uriah Hall.
Strickland's gonna make him do it.
Strickland.
Yeah.
Strickland's not gonna let Uriah Hall close.
Yeah.
I was hoping for the Strickland Holland fight because I thought that would be hilarious. Maybe we'll get that next.
Yeah.
I think Strickland gets this win.
I could see it. I gotta see him getting knocked the fuck out.
No, Uriah Hall could ice anybody.
If he makes Uriah Hall, be Uriah Hall.
The one thing that's gonna make me worried for Strickland, he's very hands heavy,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and Uriah Hall can.
And he's gonna make Uriah Hall fight.
right. And who knows what happened in that Chris Weidman
Yeah.
fight? But Uriah Hall's has looked sharp lately.
Yeah.
He coasted early in the Silva fight where he didn't look good, but he was just waiting. Once he turned on, he fucking ended Silva. Like it was not even close. Once he decided, I think Silva rocked him one time. Like, wait a minute, I gotta fight this guy because he's trying to hit me.
It's his time. He needs to go now because he's aging too, though, right? Like you gotta go.
Well, he's always gonna go down as the biggest underachiever in UFC history.
Yeah.
He should have been a world champion. He should at least fought for a world title in his prime, and he never did because he kind of just coast.
Yeah.
Uriah Hall will go rounds where he just doesn't want to fight. He's too passive, doesn't go at it. But when he does, he puts highlight reels.
But it shows they're thinking highly of Sean Strickland, you know?
I mean, how can you not?
Yeah.
I mean, they were highly on him before. He got the motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
He's just been knocking people out, dominating people since he's been back. So, again, it's going to kind of see where we go. It's kind of dangerous to give him fucking Uriah Hall.
Yeah,
Sean
I think
Strickland.
so too.
Like, you might lose that.
He's jumping up there pretty quick.
Because Uriah Hall can sleep anybody.
Yeah.
August 7th.
You want to strike? You're about to strike, baby.
You want to talk some shit.
Yeah.
He ain't going to talk shit, but he might shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, PFL 4-fight card announced.
Anthony Pettis versus Lance Palmer.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think Pettis might be done too.
I'm liking Brandon Lugadane.
We got Tyler Diamondback. He's fun. He's fun to watch.
Brandon's fun to watch too. Clay Collard gets that fight again. He's looking like he's gonna take first place down in that division, the lightweights.
Yeah.
He already beat Pettis. Pettis got to win to make the playoffs. Yeah, that's why I kind of like this PFL shit with this whole playoff system and the point scoring and the actual like league. It makes it more interesting.
Makes them perform.
Well, not only that, it's just like it doesn't look like this is like a lower level UFC. It's something different.
Yeah.
It's still a fight game. It's still mixed martial arts, but it's something different. It makes you want to watch it.
You're working for what? Like, is it $1 million?
Yeah.
So it's like I need a good performance.
Right.
I need to try to get that quick 6.
Right.
I need to fight. That's what I like about it.
It's kind of cool.
You know, obviously you can't control tough fights. There's going to be decisions and shit, but like you know what you need to do.
And like
there's stuff on the line.
And
right?
there's no ducking or did you earn that fight? You know, if you win the fight, you go on to fight the next person. So you can't say, I there's no Dana White privilege, right? There's no Dana White privilege.
That was great.
If you don't, that was an awesome line.
Yeah.
He stole that whole fucking press conference.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like if you win, you get your points. You move on to the playoffs. You win your $1 million. So the fights happen. I'm really loving the PFL. It's my second favorite MMA federation to watch, and so it should be fun.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Vettori.
Dude, you ain't Blachowicz.
You are nowhere near Jan Blachowicz. I mean, let's be real. Like,
could happen. I mean,
I'm style bender through and through, right?
Yeah.
Love me some style bender. And Vettori pushed him to the limits when they fought. It was a long time ago. How much has changed? City kickboxing's going on a tough run lately.
you could see him grapple him. I mean, the
Can
thing
he
was
get
is
to
Jan
him?
didn't do it a whole lot.
Can
but if
he get to him?
if he just goes in hard nosed and that's just what he wants,
But Jan's a lot
constant.
bigger to go through those strikes.
Yeah.
Like Marvin Vettori's going to try to go through those strikes. Like Izzy is not a great grappler, but he's good at avoiding
He's
grappling.
gonna get fucking Derek Lewis. Bam, he's gonna knee him or uppercut him or some shit.
Or something, or just a front kick. I see like an Anderson Silva front kick knockout, something like that. Like I can see this going like Silva and Vitor. That's kind of the fight I see right here. I know Vittori's going to try to come in like a bull. It could be another fucking Paulo Costa too. Like is Vettori that much more aggressive? And I know Costa wasn't trying to grapple him, but he was coming through to try to bullshit, and he avoided it. You know.
Well, I mean, I'm enjoying this quote here. This Vettori believes Adesanya quits when he gets taken down and has worse jiu-jitsu than his last opponent, Kevin Holland.
Well, that's a terrible statement. For one, Adesanya doesn't get taken down, and Holland doesn't have bad jiu-jitsu.
No.
He's got bad MMA jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
His jiu-jitsu is really good, but like Adesanya's only been taken down one. How do you know and then I guess a giant fucking Jan Blachowicz who fucking wrestles down.
He's like 225, 230 pounds.
Yeah, big boy. So again, Vittori's a fucking meathead. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's gonna make it a good fight because he's gonna push the pressure. It's gonna be fun, that fight for sure, because Vittori's gonna come at you.
Yeah.
He's gonna make Izzy either do something great or he's gonna beat Izzy Adesanya. It's gonna be a fun fight.
Jan had at least 30 pounds on Izzy in that fight.
And he barely got him down.
Yeah.
And didn't Izzy get him down? No. I'm thinking Holland and Brunson.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Holland and Brunson. I flipped the bad grapplers.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else. Conor McGregor had some stuff to say about Oliveira last night. Oh no! Wait, I read
who
that
12
wrong.
is.
Proper number 12.
Proper number 12.
If fucking Conor McGregor beats Poirier and he becomes the 12th lightweight champion, this shit's rigged.
Yeah, yeah.
This shit is fucking rigged.
Proper
number
12.
12
The proper
champion.
lightweight champion.
And like that card be sponsored by proper number 12.
Dude.
Come on.
Right.
Come on, dude.
The universe is at play.
There's bullshit. No, this is a fucking simulation. This is a fucking simulation. That's what
Well,
we're at.
and then Oliveira says, worry about Dustin first.
It's true.
Well, Oliveira, according to him, he's called out Conor old times, and Conor's ducked him.
Which I can see it. I can see not wanting to fight Charles Oliveira.
He's very well rounded.
Right.
The fucker doesn't play, man.
Especially at that point.
He
like,
comes forward.
where there would be the money in that fight. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that tough fight for no money. Now, that's a money fight. It makes sense to
Yeah.
fight Charles Oliveira.
Yeah. You got to weigh your risk, right?
Right.
It's like Makachev shit. People are
Nobody
he's
wants to
number
fight
10.
is because
They're probably going to
and
lose.
nobody but guys like us knows who he is.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to buy, Islam Makhachev, who the fuck is that? You know?
Yeah.
But for us, like, that's going to be a great
Well, all I
fight.
have to do is sell it as like Khabib's right wing man.
Well,
know?
you also, so, you know,
Even
we're
Khabib, though.
Yeah.
Dustin passed on this title fight to fight Conor.
Well, I think that's because Dustin knows he can double dip. He's like,
Right.
I can knock him out again, make a shitload of money. I'm gonna get the title shot. I could probably beat,
Yeah.
Oliveira,
The title shot
and then he
will
can
be
leave. He
there.
can ride off into sunset.
The title shot's always going to be there. This payday's not.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so then the question, so if Dustin was going to have that title fight, it would have been against Oliveira, right?
Right.
Yep.
What would have Chandler have done at that point? He wouldn't have had a
It
fight.
would have been Chandler Gaethje.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
It would
Gaethje.
have been Chandler Gaethje. That would have had to be the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think might be the next fight anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if Conor McGregor becomes.
I mean,
a 12.
Conor could knock out Dustin
He
Poirier.
could.
That's not outside the realm of possibility.
No,
I think
I mean, he was
it's
doing
there.
great in that first
he,
round.
But-
he rocked Dustin at one point.
I think Conor comes in or Dustin comes in and does something completely
We're gonna
different.
find out if Conor McGregor still wants to be a fighter or
Yeah.
he's just trying to get paydays. We're gonna find out
I
on
don't even
in
know
July.
why he would be.
We
fighting
got to
that
definitely
guy.
do a live stream for that pay per view. That's
Du-
gonna be a huge pay per view.
Yeah.
It's in the summertime. Have some.
July.
It's
10th?
July. It's the International Fight Week.
Yeah.
It's in Vegas. It's gonna be huge. So we got to do a live stream for that one, I think.
For sure. All right. And then Khabib was running his mouth a little
Yeah.
bit against Ferguson.
Yeah.
Well, Ferguson started it
Yeah.
when they asked him on
Pure
Friday.
dirt.
when he asked him on Friday about Khabib, he did the future line where it's like chase a check, never chase a bitch because Khabib's a bitch. So Khabib
Little
responded. I mean, at this point, I don't even want to see that. I'm the biggest
No.
Tony Ferguson backer in the world.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that fight. We know it's going to happen.
Habib would fucking maul him.
What would happen back in their primes? Who knows?
Yeah.
It's
could
pointless.
Khabib stop Ferguson?
Can he be the one to finish him? I
Right.
think he
No.
could choke him. I think he could
I think
choke
he'd
him.
choke him out.
Yeah, I think he'd choke him.
He might knock him unconscious.
I think he'd choke him.
Or Ferguson's not going to tap from a
No,
choke.
no.
No, he'll put him to sleep.
What if he killed him? What if he killed him? Would you be shocked if Tony
You
Ferguson
said that's what they need to do.
or the guy quits?
The ref just zones out until he's like underneath.
Which
and
kind of
choked
goes
for like
back to my
30
Jimmy
seconds.
Crute story. They let Tony Ferguson come back out of that fucking heel hook,
Yeah.
which I guarantee his leg was
And
just
that
as fucked
arm,
up as fucking
and that
Crute's.
arm. That,
Yeah.
you know.
But
Well, but that's what would happen in Mike's fight league, where like you just keep him going.
Mike's
Only
fight
in
league.
a street fight,
he can tap
The
anytime he wants.
The MFL.
people are going to die.
Not if they tap. It's their choice.
What if they
They're
can't?
choosing.
What if they can't?
You can tap with your feet. You could verbally tap. You
Not
know,
Tony.
There's a
Tony Ferguson's going to die.
He doesn't
That's his
understand the
choice.
core concept.
that's free will.
He gave
Don't you
his life to
do you
the
believe
sport.
in
You know,
euthanasia? Do you believe in euthanasia? Like
But I'm honestly,
Dr. Kevorkian style going on
I'm
here?
surprised we haven't seen a death in MMA yet. You see him in boxing.
Well,
after
that's
fights
because
sometimes.
boxing is just straight brain damage.
Yeah.
MMA,
But
there's
I mean,
so
some of
much
those
more
head
to it.
kicks, it's like, Jesus.
Yeah, but there's like one or two. Like boxing, you're
It'll
getting
happen
pummeled.
eventually, right?
I don't know. But that's because again, the volume of boxing is all striking. So you're getting hit. You can go in an MMA match, it ends in like 3 seconds from one strike, and that's it. You know?
Man.
Yeah. Well, all right. We got one more here.
The
Oh no, we already
MFL.
talked about Makhachev's
Yeah.
next fight. So I guess that wraps up this episode of In the Guard.
The MFL, it's a thing now.
Yeah,
On
the
guard. Mike's Fight
MFL.
League.
Survival
If he
of
di-
the fittest.
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies. He could tap at any time. You can say, I'm done. And that's
At
it.
least you allow taps.
Yeah, you tap.
Don't get there in the first place, bitch.
Yeah.
Well,
Tap, snap, or nap, right?
Yeah.
Tap, snap, or nap. That's the rules.
Mike's Fight League.
There's no time limit.
No rounds, no time limit.
No rounds, no time limit.
No rules.
It could be a 5-hour card. It could be a 2-minute card. Who knows?
It's on pavement. behind
speaking
the
of
Dollar
which,
General.
Speaking of which, fucking UFC, we gotta fix this. All right, there was 2 hours of cage time in the card yesterday, but we were watching that motherfucker for 7 hours.
Yeah.
We gotta cut that down.
Well, it's like when they do
little bit.
UFC on ABC. I hate it because we don't get the behind the scenes interviews and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We have to watch fucking advertisements. I'm like, oh my god.
Could we cut that down to 5 hours of screen time? Like, it don't have to go down to 2. With
Why
it.
are we going to watch this until 12 Central Time? Like,
Yeah.
imagine Eastern Time. These people are
Yeah,
up till
or
1
if
a.m.
those motherfuckers in England watching this shit
Yeah,
are
it's-
watching it overnight.
They're getting up at like 4 and 5 in the morning to
Yeah.
watch this shit.
So, can we cut it down to maybe 5.5 hours in these 2 hours of fight time? Come on.
Well, be sure to like, subscribe, follow, comment, all those things.
All that good shit.
We'll see you.
See y'all next time.
Yeah.
Week.
Pew, 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 pew.